Okay. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. So I'm testing just to see how long the lag is between my voice and the actual video. So I don't really hear any lag, so I'm just going to get started. So what we're essentially doing, we're just going to be talking a little bit about Peppermint Park and what's going to be happening with this channel. I don't see anyone in right now, which is fine. We're going to be playing some more. See a couple of videos get deleted. I noticed that there's no one really on. Just double checking the mic. Hello? Hello? So I noticed the microphone's actually very low. Hang on. Let's see if this changes anything. I think it's just the microphone is pretty crappy. Let's see if this changes. Okay. Hold up. Hello? Hello? Is this better? Hello?
Hello?
Okay, I think the sound is better.
Okay, I think the sound is better.
A little muffled, but we'll work with it. Alright, so I'm going to give it the next 30 seconds of just testing. Alright, everything seems to be fine. So I'm just going to continue the game. To be honest, I don't Hold on 1 second. That's so weird. Give me a second. I'm gonna try something. I'm just gonna mute the game for now because why not? That way I can answer your questions easily. And I'm just gonna move the mic closer. This should be better.
This should be better.
Okay, awesome. So what's up? Yeah, sorry, this is my first time doing a live stream, so I'm not used to this at all. I had to get a whole new setup and everything. Cool. Again, I'm just saying if anyone has any questions regarding the channel, I'm more than willing to answer them. And also, if you were part of the Discord, you'll notice that a lot of it was changed. It's just me getting prepared for the next month, because we're starting it. I spoke to a couple of my friends, they want to start it in February. So right now, since it's January 19th, we only really have like 2 or 3 weeks, not even. If you did see the video, it pretty much just says I do want to do some thrift store hauls. I want to start that hopefully by January 26th. Because that one only requires me, it doesn't really require anyone else. But the other videos are going to involve a couple of my friends. We're going to be doing a couple of live gameplays. Nothing too big, mainly just games that I own. And then we want to do Fan Game Fridays, which are pretty much just going to be fan games that we know of. For example, there's like Pokemon Orange, things like that. And I'm pretty sure I fucked this up. Yeah, so we actually just started picking up a few... homebrew. I'm going to restart. We actually picked up a couple of homebrew games that were ported to cartridges, and we're hoping to do that at least once a Friday. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're going to be filming inside the thrift store. I'm actually friendly with 2 guys who run 2 thrift stores. One is which is all dedicated to video games. The other of which is like video games, toys, etc. So I already got permission to record from both places. And fortunately, I do know the people personally who own the stores, so I kind of got that going for me. All the games that we're going to be playing are going to be old. I'm not looking for anything past GameCube era, but I think the furthest I might go is like maybe the Nintendo Wii era, and that's stretching it in my opinion. At that point, that would be the furthest I would go. I would not go anything modern. I'm not a big fan. One thing I should tell you, I'm not a big fan of modern games. I do own all 3 systems. I own the Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One, but I really don't play them. I only play them on a rare occasion. Like, for example, when Crash Bandicoot came out, I played the trilogy for that, and I still have yet to get the Spyro one. Hopefully, though, I actually was thinking about getting the Spyro game over the February break that I have, but I kind of want to focus more on some homebrew games. What am I? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. There we go. Yeah, I only play on the Japanese GameCube player. Originally, I was going to play on the English one, but I found that with my videos, it causes less lag for some reason when I play the Japanese port. I do have the English one, but I think there's something wrong with the disc, and that might be the problem. But I am not 100%, to be honest with you. Oh, Witcher 3 is pretty good. My brother played it. I never really got into it. I played the first Witcher game back when I was in high school, probably about maybe 7 years ago, not even. But that was like the last time I played anything on the PS3 or PS4. I do prefer the Game Boy player over the Super Game Boy, if anyone's wondering. Mainly just because I've noticed for Game Boy games, it does run a little bit faster, but that could be just me thinking that. I've gone through the same place 3 times. Like, what the hell am I doing? The other thing we're trying to focus on, two people that I'm working with currently are in Japan, so unfortunately they are coming back Monday, which is good. Just the downside is the wait, so we have to start getting everything together by, like I said, January 26th. I have one guy who I'm working with who's going to be in charge of video editing because I don't want to bother with that anymore. I did that for years, and I don't really have the skills as much as I used to. But I know one guy who's willing to do it. And on the Discord, if I just can jump in for 1 second and mention it, if you are part of it, I just realized, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I did change up everything. It's just for me to get everything ready. But each one has a general and a voice chat that you could use if you really want to know about anything. The first video game I ever played, that's a good question. Originally, I had a Sega Pico back in like 95 when I was like 2. My parents got it for me, but I don't really count that as a console more than like an entertainment machine. Like, if you get what I'm saying, it's not really a game console to me. I mean, sure it is, but the games don't really feel like a game. They just feel like a storybook. The first game I ever truly played was Bugs Life on the PlayStation 1 in 98, I think. It was the first game I ever played, and the first game I really got addicted to was Super Mario Land 2. I didn't get that till 97. Oh, no, 99, my bad, 99. That would definitely... I actually saw that there's a deluxe version that somebody made that's colored now. I definitely want to pick that up and review it. Speaking of reviews, I do also have... I'm kind of worried. I think this is where I messed up last time. Speaking of reviews, I also have a ton of plug-and-play consoles that are either bootlegs with their own exclusive games, or they actually have their own cartridge ports that you can buy games for. Sure, they are fake, but it is interesting to have them and to see them. Okay, I want to figure out what I'm doing wrong with this. Oh, Banjo-Kazooie. I have both of them. They're pretty good. I never did beat Banjo-Tooie, though. I think I got... Well, the funny thing is, I didn't grow up with Banjo-Kazooie. I should probably bring that up. Even though I was born in 93, I never owned the game. I didn't get it until maybe 3 years ago, and I only beat the first one. So I can't really say that it's like I would love to say I love the game, but I didn't really grow up with it, unfortunately, so I'm sorry. I want to make sure I do this right. I think you have to time the jumps properly. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, Banjo-Kazooie was pretty good, at least from what I played. The one that I had was Donkey Kong 64. I think Rare made that game as well, if I'm correct. I got it, actually, as soon as GameStop started selling used N64 games. It was the only used N64 game I ever had before I started buying online in, like, 2010. Oh, Nuts and Bolts was terrible. The rarest game I own. So, hold on, I gotta think. Because there is one game I have called Operation Secret Storm. It's an NES game. Even though it's only worth $200, I own the source code for it. So, the company Color Dreams also was the one who was Wisdom Tree. They had someone who had bought the rights to all their games and started selling the source codes on eBay. So I own the official source codes for that game, which I have no clue how much that's worth. So if I had to say my most expensive game, like rare, I mean, it would have to be the source code for that game, because there's only one copy of it in existence. Yeah, they actually gave me a couple of things with it. They gave me Bible Buffet, which was interesting. It was a whole roll of stickers of Bible Buffet that went along with it. And I never realized how terrible I am at this game. Holy crap. The last time I played it was probably 2001. So if I mess up now, I'm probably just going to switch to my Pokemon Emerald as long as that's cool with you guys. Because I've been doing some gameplay of Pokemon Emerald. A couple of my friends wanted to do a Gen 3 tournament, so I said, yeah, I'm down for it. Didn't the same guy have a promo VHS tape? I don't know. The only thing I know is that when they were selling it, they sold the Operation Secret Storm source code, Bible Buffet source code, and I think it was Raid 2020 maybe. I think those were the 3 source codes that were available. And yeah, I'm definitely going to switch this out. Oh, one thing that I should mention, the only time I play games, I'll only play if they're a legit cartridge. I will not play emulators. So that's one thing I should probably note. So any fan hack or homebrew games that I play are on a legit cartridge. Because I cannot, I don't see myself playing on emulators. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the freaking battery ran out. But yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I have not played Warrior Land 4 in forever, and I'm not good at the game either. So it doesn't help. My opinion on emulators, I mean, if you want to run them, that's fine. I don't really care. But for me, I don't see myself doing it. I'm kind of one of those people who will only use the legit cartridge. But if you want to, it's fair game. Like, I know some people say it's piracy and whatnot, which it is, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do it. But I just don't feel like I'm playing the real game if I'm playing it on emulator. I did that a couple of years ago. One of the things I did was I tried out playing a couple of games only on emulators, and I found myself actually getting bored of them quickly, because when you have every game accessible to you, it doesn't really feel like you earned it or owned it. Like, for example, I played Earthbound on an original cartridge, and then I played Earthbound on an emulator. Yeah, I just feel like it's more rewarding to play it on that original cartridge. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't want to speak out and just say like, "Oh, I'm right." That's just how I feel. Yeah, what I did was I actually homebrewed my Wii, so to get the homebrew channel back in like 2014. And when I did it, I put every Super Nintendo game, every Game Boy Advance, etc. And I found myself switching game to game after only about maybe like a minute and a half. Like, I wouldn't even give the game a chance. I think it's because when you buy a game or when you pay for a game, especially one that's expensive, you want to get the most out of that game. For me, I don't feel like I was getting the most out of it just by playing it as it is on an emulator. Speaking of emulators, I should mention, though, that a couple of years ago I was working on a game called Pokemon Purple, which was the only time I really needed to use an emulator because it's mainly just to test things. That's something I do want to bring back. I'll get to that later, though. Oh, I own both of them, the NES and the SNES Classic. I feel like those, even though, yes, you're emulating a game, it's not piracy because you're buying it from the first party source. So for me, I think that that's fine. I bought both of them when they came out, except the NES Classic, which was like impossible to find. I remember I had pre-ordered it and I was on a wait list. So I think it was for maybe Walmart or something I pre-ordered it for. And I remember there was like a wait list of, I don't know how many people, but I was taken off the wait list because I wasn't, I guess, one of the top people. I did get it, though, last year. It's alright. Most of the games I own the cartridges for, though, so I kind of just got it just to see how it would look. And I have to say, though, the quality of it is actually really good compared to, like, those clone consoles that you can buy on, like, AliExpress and things like that. Alright, I already did this. Never mind. But yeah, oh, there we go. I forgot this guy talks. To go back to the Pokemon Purple thing I was talking about. Oh, I'll get to the PS1 Classic right now, actually. That's a better question. I didn't get the chance to play it, but I was going to pick it up from GameStop. It was, originally I think it was like $99. I wanted to buy it, but I read the reviews and I just didn't see, like I saw the games, which some of them like Tekken and things I am a fan of, but when I read the reviews I just was not happy. And it doesn't help that I've noticed a lot of games, like for example the Atari Classics, things like that. I have most of them, but I just don't like them. The NES and the SNES Classic though were pretty good for the most part. Oh, but sadly, old school gaming in the UK. Oh, you're from the UK? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, in the US, there's usually a bunch of stores, especially because I live in New York, Brooklyn to be exact. So I'm only 30 minutes away from Manhattan. So there are a ton of thrift stores in Manhattan that sell only games. So I guess that's like one thing that I benefit from having that accessibility. To go back to the PS1 Classic, though, I think the problem that I had was, this is just like a personal problem I had. When I grew up with the PlayStation 1, I only had the ones with the DualShock controllers, so it was like those two knobs on the bottom. I think I got it, yeah, like I said, in 98 I got it. So by the time I had it, the DualShock controllers were already out. I never had the original one where it was just the D-pad and the 4 buttons. So to me, I didn't grow up with that, and I remember my friend did, and we tried a game on it. I don't remember what it was. I think it was called like Blasto or something, and I just was not a fan of the D-pad. Oh no, it was Gex. That was it. I think it was the first Gex game. That game though was pretty fun. I just haven't played it in a very long time. Unfortunately, most of the games I own, I really don't. Either I don't get the time to play them, or I just never really get around to them. Like, there are many games I've bought this year alone that I still have not even had the chance to pick up and play yet. Just to continue about the Pokemon Purple thing that I was mentioning. So that was a game that I was working on with a friend group back in 2014, and it was kind of like an on and off project. And one of my friends had said to me a couple of weeks ago, he asked me if I wanted to bring it back. I said, well, I still have everything we did for it on my old laptop. So what I did was I just transferred everything over to my new desktop that I got about maybe 3 years ago, the one that I built, and I just put it all on there. I took a look at it. I had to use a thing called Famitracker to change the music, which was very difficult. I had to get my brother. My brother plays music and whatnot, so it was a lot easier for him to do it than me. So he took care of that while I did most of the map editing, hex editing, things like that. Because to me, that's a lot easier than the music portion. But some of the other, speaking of like emulated consoles, if you want to call them that, some of them that I have the Intellivision Classic, the ColecoVision Classic. I have a lot of those old Radica Sega Genesis ones. Actually, right next to me I have the Supersonic Gold one, which was what I was using to test the video output for this. So I do have a lot of them. I just, if I have the cartridge and I have an AV modded console, I really don't see myself playing those. Some of those I just buy for novelty purposes. Like the ColecoVision and the Intellivision Classic, that's like a tiny little version of it, and I love it. So I mainly just bought those, not just for display, but just to see the video output for the games. And that was back when I wanted to do reviews for plug-and-play consoles, which I would love to get to one day. I would just have to take them all out and really dissect into each one and see which ones I would want to review. Oh no, I definitely buy online. Speaking of which, a lot of the games I do buy are from eBay or from Etsy. All the games that are homebrew I always buy from Etsy because I have a couple of people who I know, not personally, but I've known them for a couple of years that I buy from, and they make pretty quality games. So that's where I go for my homebrew ones. For my non-homebrew or my legit cartridges, I'll go on eBay. Some of them that I bought this year, for example, are an authentic Turtles in Time. What else? Double Dragon versus Battletoads. That's another game I just bought on eBay. And then a ton of Game Boy games. Because you can get Game Boy games in lots. I think it was 11 games for maybe like $18. and one of them that was in it, I think was leaf green. I don't remember. That was back in September. But I do normally, like I was just saying, I do normally go and buy things online, especially if I can't find them in a store. Usually, my first choice is to go to a store and pick them up because I like that immediate gratification of having it. But if I can't, I'll definitely order it online. The problem that I have with eBay, though, sometimes I'm a little skeptical about buying some games, especially if they're rare. Like, by the way, I'm sucking at this right now. For example, games like Earthbound or Turtles in Time. What else? Pretty much any game that's expensive on Super Nintendo, Genesis, things like that. A lot of Chinese clones are made, so reproduction cartridges. I'm not a huge fan of those, to be honest. If you want to get them, sure. I have 2 of them, but the only reason I own them was because I got them for free. One of the thrift stores I went to was actually liquidating their stock, and I wanted to buy Breath of Fire, the first one. So I was picking it up, and in the back, he had 4 copies of Earthbound, and I said, wait a minute, how do you have 4 copies of Earthbound? I'm like, that game is ridiculously expensive. He's like, oh no, they're all reproductions. He had Chrono Trigger as well, which is a game I do not own a legit cartridge of. So he said to me, do you want them? And I said, well, I wanted to play Chrono Trigger, so I said, nah, why not? I'll play the reproduction. If I like it, I'll buy the official cartridge. So he said, oh, you can have both. So I have official and unofficial Earthbound, I guess you could say. But definitely, if I can't find the game in a thrift store, I'll go right online and pick it up. I just worry sometimes that I won't get the authentic one. So, yeah, it is hard to see. Usually what I do is if someone has a stock photo, I will not buy the game. But if they have a photo that I could see the serial number and everything on, especially the Nintendo Seal quality, if I could see that it has that gold reflect on it, I'll definitely pick it up. Because that's like my 2 ways of figuring out if it's legit or not. Especially if, also to add in, if the cartridge has the glossy texture to it, I believe that's another effect that goes with it. I could be wrong though. Oh, Chrono Trigger on Steam, yeah. I didn't even know it's on Steam. I think I have Final Fantasy on there. I actually was planning on getting rid of my Steam account. I have a lot of games on it, but I haven't really been playing PC gaming. I went back to consoles, but I must have God knows how many games. I love Team Fortress 2 on it, though. I played that game for years. Unfortunately, though, after League of Legends came out, I quit TF2 and I played League. I played that up until maybe 2 years ago, and then I just quit from there on in. And that was mainly just because I didn't like all the balance changes they did. It was when, if you know what League of Legends is, it was when that character Callista came out. I had to just stop at that point. I didn't like the way the game was moving from there on in. Oh damn, 1,000 hours? I think I have like 900 in that. The last time I played was when Man vs. Machine was new. That's all I know. And I remember when they started bringing in trading, that was fun. But yeah, if you have any questions about what I'm doing with my channel, you can feel free to ask. Even if it's something like, if I plan on bringing something in like that you want to recommend, I'm more than willing to listen. Oh, yeah. My brother tried to make money off of that. Back when they didn't have the TF2 market, or the Steam market, whatever it was, when you would sell like Bill's hats and stuff like that, but there was a website that you could sell it on for actual money, and then you would trade. I forget what it was, but it was like a Bill's hat was like $20, I think. I remember my brother put $20 on his account and bought it from a site. It was like kind of like an eBay, but TF2. It definitely got taken down though, because I don't think Steam endorsed it at all. I mean, Valve endorsed it all. Oh, that was it. Yeah, marketplace.tf. God, that's old. I don't know if it's still around, but I would definitely be surprised if they kept it. one of the things I want to do, I would love to live stream a couple of games in the future, but I just want to figure out first how the weekly schedule is going to go, because a couple of my friends and I, we have an Excel spreadsheet of all the possible ideas for each week. We want to try to do at least 3 videos a week. Oh wow, it's still up and running. That's great. I'm surprised. Realistically, I am surprised. I thought Valve would have taken it down, but hey, whatever. As we see it right now, though, we definitely want to use Fridays towards our fan games that we want to play. On Wednesdays, we definitely want to upload a video that involves a game that all 3 of us can play. And then Mondays, we're thinking about doing the thrift store haul videos. But in the spreadsheet that we're working on right now, we're not sure if we should make it once every week or once every other week. I feel like once a week may be a little bit too much, because once every other week I can handle. But once a week, the problem I feel with it is it would get a little redundant fast, because sometimes the problem is with thrift stores, they don't get things as fast as you can buy them. Especially when you go at least a couple, like if you go twice a week, they're not going to update as fast as a store that goes, if you go like maybe once a month. Fortunately, the people that I go to see, they text me whenever something interesting comes in. So I've already told them that this is what I'm planning on doing. If you find anything interesting, just to let me know. Oh, damn, it's 1 a.m. for you. It's 7:50 here. No problem. All good. I'll talk to you later. I hope to do some live streams maybe on Sunday nights, because Saturdays I'm usually not home, or I have to take care of stuff from work, or I'm with my girlfriend. It's one of those 3. So Saturdays to me don't really work for live streaming, but Sundays I'd love to do a live stream at least once a week, and I would love to do like maybe like a straw poll or something to figure out what game we would play, and I would play it, or maybe get someone to play with me. Oh wow, it's 6:50 a.m. or p.m. Oh, never mind. It would be p.m. if it's 7:50 here. Never mind. Yeah, that's what I thought. But to go a little off topic, I never really mentioned why. Like, I kind of beat around the bush the reason why I left Lost Media. I think the issue that I had with it was because I just couldn't find anything to do outside of Peppermint Park. I had a couple of recommendations thrown at me, but it was nothing that really caught my eye, unfortunately. Off topic, though, I don't know if I'm going to sell the tapes or not. I do still have them. I have them in a box, actually, all 7 of them. But I'm thinking about selling them. I don't know. Because if anybody would want them, I'm probably going to think about doing a listing. Oh my god. I definitely should have leveled all my guys before showing up here. And the thing, I'm trying to make this my final team. The only thing I would want to do is switch out character and with Tropius. That's about it. Yeah, that's true. I do have them all digitized. I think for me, the problem... Oh, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, the problem with me was I spent a lot of money on those VHSs, not going to lie. And especially with Pumpkin Mariam, that was... I mean, I don't want to bring in old news or old drama, but I was, needless to say, I was really annoyed with her. Like, especially with her being around the bush constantly, acting like she, more or less, I never really mentioned what happened, but she constantly would tell me, oh, I can't ship it because we're moving. Meanwhile, when I was not moving, but while I was in the process of changing all my stuff in my house, things like that, I managed to ship my stuff on eBay. It should not take more than not even a couple of days. I easily was able to ship my stuff. I waited, I kid you not, I believe it was February. She reached out to me to have me buy it, and her original price she was asking for I did not like. She went back and offered me 500 on the spot, and asked for 500 on the spot, and she told me the reason was because she was trying to move out of her parents' house because she wasn't happy there. And not gonna lie, I was a little annoyed because that to me was, you're asking me right out of the blue. Like, I was a little annoyed. Like, it's hard to describe, and I know I keep saying like because I'm really not sure how to describe it, but it just ticked me off in the wrong way. So I negotiated with her and haggled her down to 200. So I bought the tape for that. And the reason why I think I have such like a negative interpretation of her was because she told me in February, "Yeah, I'm going to ship the tape." So I made a video on it, and I was like, "Okay, she's going to ship the tape." I bought it. I must have made that video less than 2 hours after she told me that. I remember coming home from work and her messaging me that and me making the video. And 1 month let in, then it was March, then it was April. I didn't get that tape until the day that I went to buy the Xbox One for my birthday. And I remember I was buying Dragon Ball Fighters for Xbox One. I was getting the Xbox One the same day. It was one that came with PUBG. And I was playing it, and I get the message that she shipped the tape. Oh no, that I got the notification in the mail that the tape came in. I'm like, oh, awesome, what a birthday present. But I was so pissed off. Like, I told my brother, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Because I didn't know if I was going to get my money back. Like, did I literally just throw $200 at somebody and not guarantee myself money back? Because when I paid through PayPal, I didn't know if I can get a return on it. Because I put it under, I think, friends and family. So you can't really get a refund for that. So God forbid she didn't send it. I would have been down $200 for nothing. And she was very hard to get into contact with. I had to message her on Instagram and on Twitter just to get her to actually acknowledge it. So yeah, sorry if I went on a rant, but that still drives me crazy because it just made me lose so much trust in someone, and I did not know what to expect. And that's kind of like the unfortunate thing because I was hoping to get it on eBay. Yeah, exactly. You have to be efficient with your shipping. Especially if you're selling a product and someone buys it. I bought it literally maybe 5 minutes after she sent that message. So when you tell me it's going to be shipped within a week, it shouldn't take 3 months. And then it was this whole thing with her mother. Her mother got involved, and at that point I was done because I got a message from her mom on PayPal telling me that I'm in the wrong because her daughter's autistic. And I said, well, one, I did not know that, and two, that's not my fault because I should not have to assume that someone has a disability, and that's the reason why they can't ship it. First off, my cousin's autistic, and I have to say that using that as your crutch is bullshit. I don't think that should be the reason why you can't ship something. On top of that, it's not, I don't feel that that is a legitimate excuse. That's just you scapegoating behind something. And on top of that, I don't think I was actually messaging her mom at all. I think that story was made up because Pumpkin Miriam tended to make grammatical errors in her text. Like sometimes instead of a T, she would put a Y because the two of them are right near each other on the keypad. I noticed the mother was making the exact same things, lack of punctuation, things like that. So I'm like, am I really talking to someone, or am I just talking to Pumpkin Miriam disguising herself as her mother? Like, that to me was where I drew the line. And I openly told her, I said, do not message me ever again. I have your tape. That's it. I don't want to be in contact with you anymore. And on top of that, I'm a special education teacher, so if you're going to throw the fact that you have a disability at me, as your problem. Oh, what's up, Stout Don fan? Yeah, if you're gonna throw your disability at me and claim that that's the reason why you can't ship something, get the fuck out of here. Speaking of which, Stout Don fan, I forgot to mention, this is kind of using actual names, but me, Frankie, and Michael are planning on adding into making live stream videos using games. We're definitely one to know if you want to join us. Oh yeah, it probably was a disguise. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually haven't spoken to her since then. Mainly because, like I said, I did not want to deal with this person at all. I don't know yet. I'm using XSplit right now. That was the one I was using for my encoding. So that's probably what I'm going to stick with for now. But we're definitely going to still use the Samsung and whatnot. As in the TV we watch the James Bond movies on. I gotta get this thing. I don't even know what level Loud Dread evolves. But yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I was desensitized from Peppermint Park as well. It feels a lot better though to get rid of. It's kind of like one of those things out with the old and with the new. I'm just glad that I got rid of my old content. Like I started deleting a lot of it because to me it just was in the way. And anything that was really worth keeping, I uploaded on my secondary channel anyway. Kind of like joke videos that I made over the years. Yes, yes. I definitely no. I kept Itachi Guy. Don't worry. I actually uploaded those. I have them on a hard drive. I still have those videos. They're on a hard drive that can be uploaded at any time. I deleted one of them, I think, and that was only because of a copyright strike on it. So I deleted it and I saved it onto my computer. I'm gonna re-upload it on my alternate account later, which has everything that I've been making since like 2007 anyway. But some of the fan games I'm thinking about that I do own, I have a lot of bootleg Famicom games, and I definitely want to use. Oh, to answer. Oh wait, that guy left when he was asking about the rarest game. I just realized I have another one. But one of the things I just thought about was a lot of the homebrew and fan games that I own. I would probably want to do Granddad 7, which I do own. I have the actual cartridge for that. And I have, oh, you do, okay. Titanic, the game that John Tron reviewed, the Super New Year 15-in-1 cart. I actually have one copy of that. I got it from the company that was called HUMMER. I got it from a former employee there for about, I think it was like $100 at the time. I got it a while back, but it was from the actual one of the people who actually ran that company. I think they were in China. I think they were based there. Oh yeah, I have Granddad 7. I have the cartridge for it. I got it from a guy in Spain. I do though. I'll definitely do a review of the cartridge. And it's a legit one too. It's not from the company Hummer, whatever it was called. It's from another company. But I do have the actual cartridge. That I forgot to mention that. Yeah, those are two of the games I own that are I guess even though they're pirated, they are rare to come by. I have both of those. Other like ones that are pretty common, I have the hold on, I have all the Pokemon like bootleg games, like the one that's a Wacky Races NES clone. Those ones are very common. They're like $10, not even. Those are the ones that I have that are common. And the other one I have is Harry's Legend, which used the build from Titanic and just made it into the Harry Potter game. That one I actually got right before Christmas. But yeah, I think Granddad and oh wait, no, it's a multi-cart. Granddad 7 is available, I believe, only on a multi-cart, which 7 games are in it, and one of them is known as Granddad. I'll take a picture of the cartridge and put it in the Discord group. As soon as I'm finished with the live stream, just remind me. I'll put it in the Fan Game Fridays, general chat. That one's a lot of fun. I got a chance to play it. All it is the Flintstones game with Mario's head put on it, but it's hilarious. Oh yeah, it's the exact same thing. Rather than it being a ROM though, it's just the actual cartridge. Yeah. It's a gray cartridge. I gotta definitely take it out. It's a gray cartridge, like a bluish gray, and it says 7 Granddad on it. And what it is, it's a multi-cart with 7 games in it, but one of them is the one that Vinesauce reviewed. I don't remember how much I paid for that game, but it was definitely from a guy in Spain. If it wasn't Spain, it was Italy. It was one of those two. Because I remember it came in like a really odd package. That's all I remember about it. It was like a cracker box or something, I think it came in. And it was either written in Spanish or Italian. Yeah, this is what I was, I guess, trying to mention in my videos, that I do collect a lot of games, and that's kind of always been my hidden outlet, because all my friends in real life know that I collect video games, and they've known it forever, but I never really made it known on my YouTube channel at all. The only time I really did was when I played I think it was Pokemon Yellow and Majora's Mask originally. Oh yeah, I remember you did acquire that VHS. Oh, so you Googled it. I remember it was on I think you said it was on oldies.com or something. I could be wrong, but I remember when you picked it up and then you sold it to me. I still have it too. It's just put away. That tape was weird because now that I think about it, I remember it was I think it was the first 3 or 4 volumes it did, it mentioned snippets of it, but then I saw this site, it was like a Weebly account or whatever, back in maybe 2010 or something, where they claimed there was a volume 5 and volume 6 tape that was a promotional, and I even went around to ask John Horton's daughter Alyssa if they had any clue about this thing, and no, it doesn't exist. Oh, cool. Awesome. So you're still going to stay around. Nice. We were actually just talking about the Peppermint Park. It was like a promotional tape, I think is the best way to describe it. I got in touch with Blame It on George, by the way. He just wants me to, he said I could either do it through voice or to give him a message, basically talking about how I discovered Peppermint Park. That's what he's asking from me. I don't know if I'm cameoing in his video or not. I don't want to say anything because I really don't know. But since he said that he wanted either audio or a text, I'm guessing that if I give him audio, it's going to be in his video that he's working on. Yeah, I guess they were wrong because I never really trusted that thing because I noticed that when they did the Peppermint Park um, logo, they must have put like a green screen or something behind it, and I couldn't pinpoint the problem until a while later. But it looks like it's ripped straight off of the VHS box. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it does sound cool. I'm hoping to get in touch with him soon. I just texted him. What was it? If today's Saturday, I texted him on Thursday, and he just gave me the rundown of what he wanted. And I started doing snippets of recordings of that. Speaking of which, just a little fun fact. The Alyssa Horton that I've been talking to, if you watch Peppermint Park Volume 6, they do a happy birthday for Alyssa, the girl in the video. That's Alyssa Horton. So that's John Horton's daughter, who I'm in contact with right now. The cool thing is, too, that I actually have a couple of wishlist games that I'm working on, and I'm hoping to get the actual cartridge version of some homebrew games soon. There are a few of them that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, but definitely one of them that I'm really hoping to pick up was a fan game Pokemon. Oh, geez, what's it called? Quartz, I think? It's a Game Boy Advance game I'd love to talk about one day. There's so many of those things, though. So I'd really only want maybe 3 or 4 to talk about. Maybe make it into a monthly thing, like for 1 month, talk about those. But I should mention, because I know you had asked me earlier that if I'm excuse me, if I'm using a Japanese Game Boy player, which I am, some of the games that I play are Japanese exclusives, like the legendary style. It's called Starfy in America. I think it's Staffy in Japan. I played the Game Boy Advance games of those. They're pretty good. Yeah, fan-made games are good only if you really look into them. Like, I've played a couple of really crappy ones. Like, there was Pokemon Knife version. All it was Pokemon Red, but if you walk into someone and you press A, you could stab them and the character disappears. Like, you would think it's hilarious, but after maybe 3 or 4 times, it gets really redundant. So that's like, I thought about that game, purchasing a cartridge of it and then reviewing it, but I feel like there's nothing more for me to say outside of that. But yeah, I definitely want the channel to shift gears towards video games now. Yeah, it is kind of like a GTA Pokemon game. That's all it is, though. It's just you walk up, you press A on someone, and the character's sprite disappears. Don't get me wrong, when I played it, because this was back in like 2008 when I went to a friend's house and he played on emulators, and he had it on his computer. It was a ROM that he had, and I got the chance to play it. It was hilarious for the time, but maybe after 10 or 15 minutes, I got bored of it really fast. Plus, I think it's if you press A on someone, and I think you have to wait till you exit an area and then it reloads the map. Because I remember one time I did it and I had an issue where the character didn't reload. That's the only real memory I have outside of that. But some of the stupid games that I got the chance to pick up recently, that I would definitely want to use for Wednesday type of games, would be like Digimon Racing for the Game Boy Advance, which is, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but it's just so ridiculous in my opinion. Kind of like when they did, I think it was called Atari Carts for the Jaguar. It was a bunch of mascots that literally nobody knew except one guy, and The only thing I remember about it was that it played exactly like Super Mario Kart. Probably because the Jaguar was released not too long after or before. It was somewhere around that time. Oh, it's meant to be like that. I don't want it to feel like I'm playing something on like a 1080p monitor or anything like that. I just can't see myself doing that. Like, I actually was gonna hook up my computer to one of my CRT TVs because I have something for it, and I was heavily debating on it, kind of like how I had my old Gateway monitor. But I only play my games on a legit CRT. Like, I have, well, now that I'm looking up, I have one to my left and one to my right. One's a 21 inch, one's a 13 inch. I play all of the games that are pre NES on a 13-inch TV. That's from 1980, I think it's 4. I have to look at the model to know the exact year it was made. And the other one was made in 1995. It's a VHS one as well. So one movie that it was my brother and I and one of his friends watched was Godzilla versus Jet Jaguar. It was the English version of it, but it was on a VHS. We watched it on that TV. It was hilarious. But yeah, it's meant to give you that old school feeling um, of old video quality. I don't want this to look 1080p or anything. It's actually intentional. Which is hopefully how my channel will stay. It's funny that you mentioned that because the camera that I'm using, I'm filming on 2 cameras right now actually, at least for my pre-planning. One of them is a 1988 Panasonic VideoMaster, I think it's called. It's one that has a built-in microphone and everything, but it's a really old camcorder that I've had. My grandfather picked it up in '88, and I inherited it in 2016, and I've been using it ever since. The other one is a Sony Handycam from 1996 that I still use. It uses high 8 tapes. The other one uses actual VHSs. And then the third one that we have is a modern day one that's at HD. It's just in case. Really, I don't want to use it, but if I feel that the other two just don't work out for the lighting purposes, then I'd use that. But I hope to use one of my older ones. If anybody's wondering what I'm actually doing right now, because it probably looks like I'm just repeating the same thing over and over, I'm just trying to get this loud jar to become an X-Cloud. That's about it. And I think it's either 32 or 36 he evolves. One thing I really feel bad about though is I had a lot of VHSs with some random videos that I never actually uploaded, and I never really found a reason to upload them. Like, I never mentioned any of these, but I had like these old fire safety videos that were only in New York, a bunch of Toys R Us promotional VHSs and things like that, and I wanted to upload those at one time, but I just didn't really find a reason to, because a lot of them were already online. So I don't want to upload something that's already been uploaded. There was no point in that. So that's one of the other reasons why I tried to distance myself from that as well. One thing that's cool, I forgot to mention, my brother's actually in Japan right now, and one of the things he picked up for our channel was a Mega Man clone that's on the Famicom. It's boxed, actually. So that should be interesting. I would love to do a review on that. There we go. Yeah, Brooklyn and New Jersey are pretty good. I visited Jersey in the past. I go every year. If you're gonna go to Jersey, Atlantic City is always good. Well, of course, when you're above the age of 21. But outside of that, I feel bad because outside of really like Jersey City, Atlantic City, there's really not much to do there. Because there's like, outside of there, you really have like Tom's River, Westfield, things like that. There's really nothing to do. But Brooklyn is great. Oh my god. I would definitely go visit. Especially with all the stuff you can do. And you're only, like I said, 30 minutes away by train to go to Manhattan. It's great. And in Manhattan alone, like there's so many thrift stores, but then there are stores that are dedicated only to video games. You have the Nintendo store, which it's alright. The Japan Pokemon Center is way better in my opinion. But the Nintendo Store of America, it's alright. A lot of the stuff that they have, though, there's no real exclusives, but you can play on their demos that they have. They had, like, for example, back in September, they had the Pokemon Let's Go. What was it? They had, like, one demo machine you could play. I think it was one or two. On the second floor, though, they have a whole like thing. It's like the history of Nintendo, and it shows like you could see the Game Boy that was blown up in the Gulf War that still plays Tetris, things like that. I got a chance to take a picture of it years and years ago when I first went, but now that I guess because I live so close to it, I just never really go unless I see something that I really want to get. But definitely, if you're like planning on going anywhere, New York is definitely worth it. I guess one thing I should mention because it was questioned is I know someone had asked me if I still play modern games. Oh, am I a big arcade guy or just mainly stick to consoles? Before I answer my question, I'll answer yours. I like arcade machines, but I guess because arcades are kind of phased out in America, that I don't really go to them. Like you can go to Dave and Buster's, things like that. But even when arcades were around, I didn't really play them as much. The only games that I played in the arcades heavily were the Simpsons arcade game, Turtles in Time, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Those were the only three games I played heavily. So I wouldn't really consider myself an arcade person. However, if it came to it and I could play one, I would definitely. But consoles to me were always something that I liked because you could play it at home. You can play it with a group of people, and you're not huddled around it. That was one thing I didn't care for. Oh, DDR? Yeah, I was never really big into it. I had a friend, though, that was back in high school. My friend Ryan was big into DDR. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it just wasn't my thing. I remember there was a home version of it. There were probably multiple ones on the PS2. And then there was a Mario version where, like, Waluigi was the bad guy or something. One of my friends has it. But yeah, I'm actually, even if like, I'm not someone who cares how many views I get, so I'm just glad that I'm doing something that actually, like, I feel like I've always wanted to do. Yeah, it was kind of like the NES Power Pad. Oh no, no, don't worry about it. You didn't cut me off. I was rambling anyway. But yeah, there was a DDR home port that was kind of like the NES Power Pad. There was also that stupid thing for the Wii. It was kind of like a DDR pad. I think Konami made it, but it was only for 2 games, like Adventure Outdoor or something. Because I remember when they first showed it, I thought we were going to get a new world-class track meet. Alright. This is like my 5th time versing Brendan, so let's see if I fuck up again. I really did not train my guys well. I'm just glad, though, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm glad that there's a wide variety of things that I'm willing to play. I definitely want to do more live streams, though, especially for... I want to do it so I can get, have people who have thoughts that they want to bring to the table. I'm more than willing to listen. But yeah, this is always what I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to center towards video games. I actually, now that I think about it, I never mentioned this either. I mentioned in my video that I made like Naruto AMVs and stuff in '07, but I never mentioned that I had a secondary channel that was just for video game reviews, and that was in '08, and it got deleted, and unfortunately all of those videos are long since gone. Oh wait, I used to be into commentary videos on YouTube, but I can't. See people I know. Oh, like people you know personally, or just people you already are aware of? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking lose again. But yeah, speaking of small channels, I think I have almost 2,000 subscribers, but I'm not really looking at that in that hindsight. I'm just hoping that I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. And if I get a few views for it, that's great. Yeah, this is where I keep messing up. Oh man, I have like no good moves. Problem is, I need a fire type, and the only one I have in my PC is Torkoal, and he's like level 16. Yeah, I notice a lot of people, like when they get to 100,000 or even more, I feel like some people get a little pretentious, and they feel a sense of like superiority. I've noticed that with some channels that I used to watch. No, it's okay. I'm totally open to hearing anyone say anything they want. That's the whole point of this. Ask me anything. But I do agree with you. Sometimes people who have small channels and they get big, they can come off as a little condescending at a point, and I just accidentally used absorb. But I don't see myself getting in 100,000 subscribers, not at all. Maybe like 2,500 at best, but I don't really care if I get there or not, as long as I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. And it's not like I'm doing this in order to reach views. It's just something that I've always wanted to do. Oh my god, I actually got him. It only took like 30 minutes, but I got it. Also, if I sound like my voice is sore, it's because I have a cold, so I should have probably mentioned that in the very beginning. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, no, this is good. I think I could use, oh no, do I want to use Tropius with Fly? It really doesn't matter. If I want to EV train later, I'll do it. And I'll just make an egg. Alright. Oh wait. I can't remember. I think this is Fortree City. Am I? Oh. Oh, no, I don't want. Do I have enough? Actually, maybe I could fight. Let me see if I can do a double battle. Because I think this is going to be a double battle. The first thing I want to do though is buy a better... The only thing I really want to do is buy a better microphone. That's about it. Oh my god. Alright. Let me see if I can do this. I'm glad I made this decision though, to switch my channel around. Oh, you like how the mic fits the older aesthetic? You see, I didn't think about it in that sense. I only thought about the video quality. I'm glad you like the microphone in that sense though. When I heard it at first, I'm thinking to myself, I was worried that it was going to be muffled because I wanted the game to have its audio at a lower volume while I speak at a higher volume. That was the initial goal. That's kind of what I'm hoping for in the future. But for now, if it works, hey, why not? But if anyone wants to know, because this is kind of like, when it comes to Peppermint Park, I should mention this. This is kind of like one of those things where if you want to ask me anything, you can mention it. Because I'm not planning on making videos about it anymore. So I'm always willing to hear questions that you might have regarding me finding the show, or questions about it, like conversations I've had with people from the show. Those I'll take, because I'm not going to make videos regarding Peppermint Park anymore. So I should have brought that in as well. When it's Ask Me Anything, that does get included as well. Because I know one guy gave me a private PM on Discord and asked me a question yesterday about it. So I did mention, like, if you want, you could ask me in the AMA. Because I really don't... It's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that I want to, like I said, move away from it. But during an AMA, I don't care. If it's Ask Me Anything, it's Ask Me Anything. I felt bad though. One guy in my Discord was saying that he was upset seeing that my videos were going to change. And you know, I feel bad, but at the same time, I can't stay in the past. Well, not in that sense. I can't just stay in the past and focus on something that's already complete, or at least as complete as it's going to be. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I had a Slugma? I didn't even know that. Yeah, Torkoal. Oh, wow. He's only level 15. Alright. Bye, Cacnea. He really wasn't doing anything anyway. Oh, okay, so... Okay, I should probably... This is going to be a two-part answer, because I have to tell you about the follow-up and then the punchline, I guess you could say. So, to start with, I have a friend named Frank in real life, and there was a guy on YouTube named Commodore Gilgamesh who made a series of videos that were like of random obscure VHSs, and one of which was called Rap Rap Rap. And I remember it had the scene with Ernie saying, "Hey guys, it's me, Ernie," or whatever he says. That's how I came across it, and I made a comment in the chat. In the comment section, and I said, "What series is this?" And then a year later, someone replied saying it's called Peppermint Park, and that's how I found out about the show. But for my reaction when I saw that an obscure series like Peppermint Park would get so many views, I was legitimately shocked. I didn't expect anything when I uploaded the VHS. I thought, okay, maybe like 2 or 3 people are going to get a laugh out of this. I didn't expect anyone to really want more of it. Nor did I even know that people uploaded the series. I didn't upload the series yet. One guy who uploaded the series uploaded what he called the first episode, but it really wasn't. It was, if I'm right, it was like parts of things that people had already uploaded. So I definitely was shocked to see that people actually cared about it. And I remember I got parts, I think it was in the mail. The last volume I ever got was volume 3. But I remember each and every time getting one and uploading it almost immediately. I think I need to get something for this. I remember uploading all of them and thinking it was hilarious how people actually wanted more of it. And then what I wanted to do was, I was hoping, this was my original goal over the summer, I was going to purchase the Peppermint Park puppets and actually make a kind of like a mock volume 7. It was going to follow the series, but very loosely. It was going to kind of like poke fun at all the things that people make fun of in the series. But the reason why I just couldn't do it is because, unfortunately, John Horton's daughter, each time I would message, she would give me like these, she would say, "Oh, he's out of the country, he's busy, he's this, he's that." And it's like, well, it's been 6 months and my channel isn't really doing anything. So I hated seeing my channel like almost abandoned in a way. And I didn't want to say anything because I spoke in my Discord group and I felt like I got people's hopes up for something like that. And unfortunately, it was like, there's not much I can do. So I guess that's like the negative part of the hype that I have. If that makes sense. But all the, like, speaking to Dan O'Quinn and stuff was awesome. Getting to have a conversation with him. I just feel bad that I asked 15 minutes into the phone call, I had asked him if I could record it, and he said yes, but all the things that were important were already said. At that point, he was telling me how he did something for Comic-Con in San Diego. That was about it. And it's like, oh man, like there was so much that I could have brought to the floor, but you had to ask permission first. I didn't think about that in hindsight, but he was definitely a great person to talk to. That's kind of like one of the things I miss. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. But I'm okay with it. Like, I'm going to get over it. But, like, those are the things that I truly miss when it comes to Peppermint Park more than anything. Just the experiences, not even the series. Because, yeah, the series was more or less a joke. But for me, the experience of doing it was amazing. Yeah, this is my first time using Tropius on Teams, so I don't know how this is going to work. I think Razor Leaf hits both of them, but Steel's, I don't think it affects Steel at all, or at least barely. Oh my god, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm just going to use Stomp on it. Because, I don't remember, I think Tropius, if I'm right, he has higher special attack than at regular attack. I think. The whole Peppermint Park community in general just confused. Yeah, they intrigued me as well. It was kind of fun, like, getting experiences with other people and getting to know, like, how they got into the series. That was fun. some people I know are legitimately into it. Like they really care about the series, which I do. In my opinion, I do love it. I think I care more about the backstory of it than the actual series, because the series is a very. I don't want to use the word linear because it's really not. The series is very haphazard with its ideas. Like I remember each time I would put on the video, it would start with like them inside some clubhouse or some shit, and then out of nowhere it would do the stupid counting scene, then a song. It would follow this very haphazard procedure of delivering. Like it was very randomized, and it almost felt like, in a sense, that none of it really connected. Like some of it felt forced. Like there was no reason for us to count to 7 in every video, which used reused sock animation. Or like the story lady, like where did that fit in? Like I'm comparing it to other children's series, and I just felt like it was very random in a way, and I think that's what added to the charm of it, because you never knew what to expect. With a thing like Sesame Street or something like that, it's very linear. It has a moral at the ending. You know what to expect, and that was like the fun of it. Like the titles of Peppermint Park, like Carnival Fun, Making Friends. I think no, I don't remember if Making Friends was the title, but I know Carnival Fun was. The names of them almost had nothing to do with what it was, unless it was the paid promotion that went with it. Like Carnival Fun just had to do with a music video of a carnival that happened to be in, I think, Nevada. So that to me was just fun. The names of them are hilarious. I think the first one is Magic Moments, and the only reason it's called quote unquote Magic Moments is because the guy who's doing the magic ball thing. I'm just gonna give it anything, but that was the one thing I thought was funny about it. It's sad that it's over, but I feel like I need to move on from it. But I do love answering questions about Peppermint Park because it's one of those things where even if I'm not going to do it anymore, it's always funny to hear what people think about it. And I'm still surprised that Blame It on George still wants me to make that. When he messaged me, I was like, "Are you sure you're messaging the right person? Like, I'm a nobody." And to this day, I'm still in shock. But I'm glad I'm almost done recording that. And I remember one guy, I felt bad. He had asked me if I was still doing the Peppermint Park documentary, and I'm like, well, there's really no point in me doing it anymore if I'm moving away from it. Plus, I still have the recordings, but I don't plan on using it for anything really. Okay, I actually really like using Tropius. I think you're supposed to put like a lumberry or a citrus berry on them. I don't remember. Okay. I don't understand though. One thing about Pokemon is how come they use the Pokenav when they could have just done the Verse Seeker like I did with Leaf Green and Fire Red. I felt that was just so much better. Oh, this is the part where you get the Kecleon, but I already have one, so there's no point in me getting this. I guess I can get a female one, if it is. That way because I don't think you can get Ditto in this game. I think you have to trade. The VH player that I use right now, it's a 1999 Panasonic, I think. Give me 1 second, I'll go check. No, it's a 1998 Sharp. That's what it is. It's a high something. All I know is that I've had it forever, but it still works. The Panasonic was the original one that I used. Unfortunately, that one broke. The Sharp one's good though. A lot of my episodes I'm planning on doing, I'm actually using that VHS player for. Obviously, I can't use it for live streams, but I'm definitely going to plan on using it for recording content. Because I want to record it directly from my CRT. Yeah, I would recommend, if you can come across one for less than like $30, I would definitely do it. But anything more than that to me is a ripoff. Because for a VCR, depending on like which one you want to get, like it really, to me, I don't see any real differences. But I wouldn't pay more than $30 for a VCR, especially because you can get them like, depending on where you live. If you live like right near a Goodwill or a Salvation Army, those things are like $10, I think. I remember I found one at a Goodwill 2 years ago. I didn't buy it, but it was like $10. It might have been a Panasonic actually, but it was an older model, and I don't even know why I didn't pick it up. I just didn't think I needed it or something. But if you could definitely pick one up, I would definitely do it. Did I get that stupid item? Yeah, I did. Alright. I think Winona is the gym leader I have to fight. I think that's her name. The only thing I remember is the TV series. I think it was like, there was a whole thing where Ashley Swallow turned gold or something. I don't remember. I think that was the episode. Oh, the no thrift stores. eBay. I would use eBay. Oh, right, because you live in the UK. I don't know many stores in the UK. I only visited Ireland. That was about it. And that was back in 2011. I forgot about that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Goodwill. I don't think it's there. I want to fight this guy. But eBay would definitely be a good choice. And oh no, I wouldn't even recommend it. I was gonna say if you can get a TV with a VCR built in, but the problem is with those, I don't recommend them at the same time, because the problem with them is the VCRs and the VCR portion of it. I had 3 TVs like that. 2 out of 3 of them broke, and they're not really built to last, unfortunately. It could just be my bad luck though. I don't know. The one I have right now, I only use the VCR on it when I absolutely need it. Oh, that'd be a cool idea, yeah. Any place you're planning on moving to? And now that we're on the topic, actually, because I remember earlier you said you liked the VCR quality. Oh, California. Oh, you have family there. Nice. I never visited California. My girlfriend goes once a year though. I'm not a huge fan of it, only because I'm not a big like beach person. I know that's California's like big for. San Diego though and San Francisco are pretty good from what I understand. I don't really care to visit, but that's just me. But now that I just realized, since I'm on topic, since this VCR actually works on this TV, I could probably use it to make the videos more like a VCR type of quality, which is what I'm going for in a sense. Because that's what I want to do. I just have to pick up new VHS tapes. Yeah, I would definitely recommend a car. I think they have like trolleys or something, or some type of transportation that I really don't know much about. I'm kind of. Oh, I should have mentioned this too. Um, in my house, I have a lot of older CRT TV models. I got them all from garage sales, but these guys that I know, there are two people that live near me that both do garage sales like once a month. Unfortunately, both of them moved. One group moved to Pennsylvania, the other moved to Delaware. So that screwed me over a little bit. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad to get one. By the way, around 9 o'clock, I'm probably going to stop the stream, and I'm probably going to continue one tomorrow, only because I have some stuff I have to take care of. But this has definitely been worth it. I'm glad that originally I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but I'm actually happy the way the video quality turned out. It took me 2 hours to make sure everything would play properly. But once I finish this, I have some testing I need to do for my first video. So I'm probably going to be working those details out tonight. I do plan on doing my first review on the 26th, like I was saying. So hopefully I can get something out by then. I just have to get my door. I think my cat is there. Yeah, it was one of my two cats scratching at the door. Sorry about that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. I'm glad the video quality turned out better than I expected. And when we start doing the recordings, I want to record them on a CRT. So the good thing is, it'll come out in, I think it's 4:3. So this is, I think 16. I think this is 16:9 if I'm right on this TV. So the 4:3 is going to look even nicer. And it'll have, I think it's 720 DPI. I don't know. I'm not 100%. I think that's what the TV's capable of. I really don't, or maybe it's 480. I don't know. It's either, oh no, 720 DPI definitely, because I think that was the GameCube quality I tested on. I'm glad you guys like it, because I was thinking about it. Like, some people like to get their stuff RGB modded and stuff. I don't like doing that. I like it to stay as genuine to the original as possible. The only thing I would ever do is maybe an AV mod, but even then what I do to, like, if I wanted to record Atari, what I do is I take the jack from the back, the analog, I think it is, and I put one of the ports in, and I just play straight through there, and I record it on VHS. I can't see myself modding something, because I feel like it takes away from what it originally was. But I know some people enjoy it, so to each their own. I think the one thing that I probably should have answered, that I don't know if anyone asked about it, I think someone originally had asked me if I use Retron consoles. I don't know if that question was brought up or if it was just emulators, but I should also mention about Retron consoles. I do like them, but I don't play on them. I only use them if I find that it can use, like if I want to do HDMI output, I could use the Retron 5, but I generally don't use it for anything. I know people who have them though, and they swear by them, but for me, I don't really use it. I do use an AV modded Famicom though, if that counts. It's like the closest thing to a mod I own. I mean, not own, that I use. And then I do own a couple of consoles that are cheap consoles, like the Game Philip I own, the Super Power Joy, the Super Game something. Those are like those cheap consoles that I think JonTron reviewed a few of them. I have some of them. I definitely want to do some reviews for those as well because they do have some good stuff. Oh, the Soulja Boy console XD. I mean, is this his fifth or sixth console at this point? Because he had the Soulja game fuse. The other one, it's so freaking stupid. I feel at this point he's just doing anything for publicity. Because, I mean, the last time he was relevant was probably like 2008. And then out of nowhere, he's just throwing all this stuff around like, oh, I'm making a game console. I'm doing this. Nintendo's allowing it. Nintendo does a cease and desist. Like, please. I do enjoy watching it. Like, when Review Tech USA does videos on it, or Mad Little Pixel does a video on it, I love it. I don't plan on buying one though, not anytime soon. Considering his prices are way too high. In my actual videos, I will probably be doing, like, if you know me in real life, you know what I look like. But in my actual videos, I will probably be showing my face because I don't mind. I never really did mind. I just never did it because I never saw a reason for it for what I was doing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually went out of their way to knock off a Soulja game fuse. It really wouldn't shock me at this point. Anything's possible. I would love, though, to see them. I really want to see what this new one is, because now he's claiming that he's going to put Fortnite on it or something. But I love how he says things, but he doesn't think before he says them. So every single time he brings something in, it's like you're literally just screwing yourself over. Or you're setting yourself up for failure. Also, the name of this channel will definitely change. I don't know what it's going to change to yet. I want to talk to my group and see what's a good name for it. Because this name, to me, it's very stale. And I've been meaning to change it for God knows how long. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. I don't really drink a lot of soda, but when I do, I'll have Coke. I don't remember the last time I drank Pepsi, to be honest. I haven't actually had soda in about maybe like 3 months, 4 months. I'm trying to figure out if there's even any modern games I would want to review or even play. As much as like I could think of at least one or two, like I was saying in the beginning of the video and beginning of the live stream, I think the latest era I could do is maybe Wii, and that's again stretching it. Because there's so many games on there that are just shovelware that I would love to play. I remember one time I went to a GameStop. There's like 6 GameStops in my area, at least in like my area of Brooklyn. I went to one, and there was this guy who ran it. You can tell this GameStop is not doing as well as the others, considering one, when you go into a GameStop, they always have like the black and red. This one was like a yellowish white with like a faded red. Like you can tell they haven't changed the banner in ages. And this is for their like awning sign. I went in there and they had a shelf of Wii games because Wii is I think their oldest thing next to DS that they own, or at least they could still sell in the store. And I went in there and the shelf was actually knocked over, and I picked it back up and I was going through it, and I remember the games that they were selling, still had the old GameStop stickers on them, and I looked because you can tell when a game was traded in when you look at the year. Like it says an expiration year, I think on the back. It was like 2008. It was so old. I'm saying old, but still, I'm like, that's insane. You don't see that type of stuff thrown around there. And I bought this one game. Well, I bought like 6 games, but this one game I bought, it was like Looney Tunes Acme Arsenal or something. I think it was like $1.99 I spent on it, and because I have the Xbox and the GameStop rewards thing, it was like $1.40 whatever. And the guy just looks at me, he goes, "This is like the worst game I ever played." And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "It can't be that bad." So I bring it home, and I sometimes forget that the Wii was majority motion control shovelware. And I play it, and it was just so bad. Hang on, I'm sorry, my other cat's at the door now. Yeah, I have 2 cats, and sometimes they come down here, so I forgot to mention that I sometimes have to open up and close the door. Let me just check the questions. I had a bunch of 360 games I wanted to sell. I would not. I don't sell anything to GameStop. I would sell it online before I sell it to GameStop. They're such a ripoff. Oh, I know. Nintendo definitely sued him. That was hilarious. But yeah, when it comes to selling things for GameStop, I think I did it once. It was for a GameCube game. It was like, it might have been my first version of Melee, maybe. I think that might have been the one I sold. But oh my god, they were offering me $3 for it. If you look at the game at its lowest at GameStop was 15. That's how much I paid for a used copy years and years later. And nowadays, I mean, I think it's worth like $30, if not more. Do you think someone will find the Peppermint Park puppets? John Horton actually owns them. He has them in. From what John Horton's daughter told me, they're in a storage unit in Nevada, no, it's in Nevada, a storage unit in Nevada, and I was supposed to buy them, but apparently he's out of the country, and each time I ask, I get half-assed answers, so I'm not even going to bother. But hey, I don't know how much they're even willing to sell them for. I had asked multiple times, and I always said, like, can you give me a starting price so we can negotiate? And each and every time I would ask, I would not get a reply, or I would get something like, "Oh, well, John Horton's out of the country. When he comes back, I'll let you know." I'm like, no one's out of the country for a total of 6 months consistently. I'm like, there's no way. And because each time I'm told, like, oh, he'll be back at the end of December, end of August, end of this. I got so fed up with I don't want to say nonsense, but I got so fed up with the constant mentions of it and the constant, like, blowing off of what I was saying. So I just had to give up at that point. But I'm going to try to contact maybe in a few months, see if I could get anything taken care of. But I don't really plan on making it my central focus of the channel. I'm legitimately surprised that 5 people are watching this, not gonna lie. I do think that if I'm going to live stream a game, I should start from the beginning. I'm probably going to use some of the Pokemon fan hacks that I won't be reviewing in my live streams, by the way. Quartz is one I'm saving, though, for a video. But a game like Chaos Black or Darkrai, those games I'm definitely going to use for live stream purposes, because there's really not much to talk about with them. I kind of wish I knew what puppets they had. They claim they had all the props. So I know for a fact, according to Dan O'Quinn, this is kind of going back to the question you just asked, Randy. Oh no, Ranky, sorry. Dan O'Quinn told me that the puppets were commissioned and not rented. So Dan O'Quinn had to make the puppets, but when you commission the puppet, that you keep it. It's not something you rent, for example. The puppets that they rented were from, I forget the guy's name, but like for example, the orangutan was rented. The ones that had the strings for the hands, kind of like how a Sesame Street character operates, those ones are rented. If if I want to be correct, I'm like 99% sure. But Ernie and the girl puppet, Piggle and all them, they were commissioned, not rented. Because I had asked him, I specifically asked about the Ernie one when I spoke to him on the phone that time. He said that it was commissioned because when he brought it to the table, John O'Horton and John Alardi, I think his name is, they told him the one thing they wanted was him to. They said it wasn't perfect, and all he did was like literally put marker on the eyes, and then he said it was great, or he painted the eyes or something. Like that's kind of like the setup for how the show would have gone from there. Because, I mean, yes, the show has a following, but I don't think it's for positive reasons. I think it's more for just the fact that it's humorous. Oh, my favorite N64 game. Alright, this is a good one because I grew up with the Nintendo 64 and I played a lot of games on it. Hands down, my favorite game will always be Super Mario 64 on it. But if I had to give like a top 5, because that to me is a little difficult, just to name one that I like, definitely number 1 would have to be Mario 64. 2 would be Majora's Mask. 3 would be Pokemon Stadium 1. 4 would be Ocarina of Time, and 5 would be Mario Kart 64. Those would have to be my top 5 games of all time, for the N64 at least. And then I played other games like, excuse me, some of the other games I played on there that I really loved. Glover was a third-party game, but it was so much fun on that console. Gex, I played Gex 2 on it. There were a lot of games. What's your favorite Peppermint? Oh my god, my favorite Peppermint Park character. Alright, that's a tough one because so many of them have interesting qualities that were shown, but I have to go with Ernie. Ernie's just a joke, and there's no way I could say anyone else. Maybe Piggle would be like a second, but Ernie would have to be number 1 just because of all the jokes that ran along with it. Ernie for Smash. Well, there's still 4 DLC left, so you never know. Could you imagine that if they threw him in there? It'd be terrible. I do like the new Smash. Oh yeah, I do like the original Smash 64. But Smash Ultimate I like. It's pretty good. I don't play it that often though. I got it. I pre-ordered it. I got all the characters. Played it for a little while, and I haven't played it in about a week. To be honest, I don't even remember half the Peppermint Park characters. I know Maynard. I'm probably butchering his name. It's Maylard or Maynard. The old guy who sings about Blue. I remember him. And then a lot of them I feel like they only had like 1 or 2 lines after that. And I don't know their names. I feel bad. I don't know them. Like the kid with the bubbles, I don't think he had a name. The 2 people with the crackers, I don't think they had a name either. And if they did, I must have misheard it or didn't hear it. How about a peppermint? Controversial opinion incoming. You know what? Brawl is better than 64. I have to agree with you. I used to hold Brawl tournaments back in 2010, and it's sad that I'm saying this. I'm more nostalgic for Brawl than I am for N64, and I got the N64 game the year it came out. So I have to agree with you. Brawl was so much fun. Peppermint Park Puppeteer similar to Pokemon Trainer. Control. That'd be so weird. It'd have to be like you would. I'm trying to think of what the character in the background would have to be, but you would probably have like Ernie, Piggle, and Maine or some weird shit like that. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Maybe put John Horton in the back because he used to be the puppeteer for them actually. Snorky the reptile. Oh yeah, wasn't he the green one? He was either the green or the yellow one. There were like two of them. The one thing I remember was there was one volume and the characters' voices would change like drastically. Like there was one line where they were like, "No, Snorky, you can't do that," and it was like the voice was so different from the last episode where all they did was increase the pitch. I thought that was so weird. No problem. I'll talk to you later. I'm planning on doing a weekly live stream every week, so definitely this isn't the last one I'm doing. Oh my god, having Master Hand with that would be hilarious. I don't know who the other DLC characters are going to be though. I can't stand all the fake leaks that are thrown around with it though. I actually had to like every single time I would go on YouTube, I would get recommendations for like these random quote unquote leaks, and all they are these 4chan text post leaks. I had to like block almost all those channels. There's one though that was just toxic. God, I think it's 36 this guy has to evolve. I believe John Horton provided the voice for Ernie, if I'm right. I think it was John Horton. Because they didn't have... Because I know that a lot of the characters were voiced by Horton, and they increased the pitch. For example, Piggle's original voice is John Horton's voice, just put at a higher pitch. And I want to say, yes, it is Ernie. Ernie was played by John Horton. I remember someone mentioning that to me, and I remember it being in the credits. And Alyssa told me, if I'm right, that he did not like singing. So, I don't blame him. Oh, how do I do this? Okay, there we go. Or not. I messed it up. No. How do I do this? No. Oh, there we go. Nope. Never mind. I think I have to push it from that end. But how do I get to this end? Yeah, we did get piranha plants, so... I mean, I'm kind of hoping for... I'm trying to think of, like, my most wanted character. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably want to see someone like... not Sora, but what's his name? Oh my goodness. How am I blanking? Oh, Crash Bandicoot. There we go. I want to see Crash Bandicoot in the game, but I just don't... I don't know if it's going to happen. I know a lot of people want Sora in the game. I'd be okay with that, actually. Skylanders, I never played it, actually, but I have a friend who was very big into it. When it came to Spyro, I only played the first 3 games, and Enter the Dragonfly for the GameCube. Those were the only games I played for it. So Skylanders never really sat with me. I'd like to see Crash on it. That'd be awesome. I think you could have like Dr. Cortex as your assist trophy, things like that. It'd be freaking hilarious. Plus, I'm a bigger fan of Crash Bandicoot than Spyro anyway. Like, I grew up with both games, but I feel like this is just me saying this, and it might not. I don't speak for anyone when I say this, but I feel like the Crash Bandicoot games just, as a whole series, just are better than the Spyro games as a whole series. Yo, Coco is Neko Fire. That'd be awesome. I haven't played online on there, and I had the online for the Switch for like a month, but I stopped paying for it after. And I probably should resubscribe to it. It's only like $2.50 a month, I think. Not even. Alright, I think I'm going to call it quits for the night, actually, because I got to go take care of some stuff. But I just want to thank everybody who joined this chat. I'm probably going to do another live stream on probably next Thursday or Saturday. I don't know. It's definitely going to be one next week. But I want to make sure that I get something out there. And I just have to take care of some stuff for my next video. I'm going to do some recording tonight. So I wanted to let everybody know. Take care. Thank you so much for joining the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.